This lecture will go over search engine marketing as it relates to hospitality. Some of you may have seen this model before, but I want to go over it and apply it to the hotel industry. On the top bubble or circle, you've got your prospect, what they expect, what they want. And on the left-hand bubble, you have what your competitors offer, and the right-hand bubble is what your business offers, or your hotel offers in this case. Points of parity, points of differentiation, and points of irrelevance are what we're going to be focused on and what they mean. Points of parity is the space that all three circles intersect at. It's the only space that they do. These are elements that we offer and your competitors offer, and your prospect wants them. Ideas could be, or examples could be clean rooms, good Wi-Fi service, and perhaps quiet rooms. Those would be some areas that is expected. Now, the points of differentiation are going to be what your business offers, or your hotel in this case offers, that your competitors cannot offer, and they are important to your audience. Points of irrelevance are elements that you believe as a business owner are important to your audience, but they're not. And I'm going to show you some examples of these having to do with hotels. So this is the key. What are the points of differentiation that you can focus on? With the Lafayette Hotel, the points of differentiation is its history. And it's got a historic vibe, and they've had a lot of major celebrities that have stayed there. And that's really their point of differentiation, other than they have a pool, which is an Olympic-sized pool, which is a very nice pool area, better than their competitors. And as far as points of irrelevance are concerned, we're going to get into that in a couple of minutes, but we need to know these things, and we need to create the unique value proposition, which is called the unique selling proposition in some models. Now, you may have seen this, but just I'll go over it quickly. The points of parity are the benefits you offer and share with your competitors. They're important to communicate subtly, but too much focus here will be a recipe to fail. Don't dwell on them. And they are important to your customers, or in this case, guests, but they will not set you apart. Now, the points of differentiation is how you win the game. These are benefits you offer that your ideal customer wants, but your competitors cannot. These are things that really make the experiences valuable, and that's why we call it the unique value proposition. You want to add these in your messages, focus on these. It's very important to do that. Points of irrelevance are, you may be proud of certain factors about your business. You may have the latest equipment, but your prospects don't care. And ignore messaging that refers to these. How does a business go down the wrong track? How do they believe something is important, but it's to their audience, but is really irrelevant? Well, that's an interesting question, and we're going to go over some of these examples of this. This is a hotel in downtown San Diego called the Keating Hotel. It's also an historic property. As you can see, this building was built in 1890, early in for Southern California. That's old. Okay, so it was one of the first buildings built in those days in the San Diego area. What the owner the owner was a multimillionaire, and he envisioned having a hotel that looked like he was into race cars. He's an Italian guy and he has Ferraris. So he wanted to build a hotel and decorate the hotel that looked like a car, almost like a Ferrari. And he's really into red Ferraris. So he's got deep red walls. He's got stainless steel going up here. He's got some pictures, there's stainless steel all around. Here you have kind of this is one of the rooms, they've got the red with, it says in the logo, it says K, like Keating. Very industrial looking, not warm, a lot of metal, things like that. Some people consider that cool. Other people think it's a joke. This is another picture of a room to give you a kind of another more of an idea. On some of the rooms, they have the jacuzzi in the middle of the floor in the living room. So when you look at this, you go, okay, this was the vision of the owner who wanted to build his hotel, decorate it like a sports car. Do hotel guests want that? Maybe a few. See all the stainless steel here, but for the most part, they do not. They don't understand it. They stay there because it's downtown, and there's events in downtown San Diego that are hard to get hotel rooms for, so people would stay there. So I think this is pretty safe to say this hotel was designed under the influence of irrelevance, if you will. So that's what it's decorated irrelevantly to the audience. Now we're going to look at digital marketing strategy and for hotels, and they need a digital, they have branding, they have social, all the things that touch our customers with respect to digital marketing. Branding, they brand it digitally, social media, content, email, content on the website, email, video production, search engine optimization is huge, website design, app development, and search engine marketing. So we're going to be looking at search engine marketing. Actually, SEO comes under search engine marketing. We're going to be looking at that. I'd like you to look at the Hotel Del Coronado website again with respect to qualities that a website should have. It's simple. It's relatively simple. It's got a visual hierarchy and a navigatability. It's got a menu bar that is concise and clear, goes across the top of the page, which is what we are used to. They have some issue. Yeah, they're going to have some issues with responsiveness, and I'm going to show you that on their SEO. They got some issues there. Its accessibility is accessible for people who might be hearing or sight impaired, and that's something that can be built into the website. And it should have conventional. It should be conventional as far as the being what the audiences are used to, what they expect to see, and then that gives it credibility and makes it user-centric. So this is a good model, I think, for hotels, especially for a very high-end hotel. They do a pretty good job in really showing what the hotel is. We're going to look at the responsiveness in a couple minutes here. But now when we look at search engine marketing, that's what we're going to look at now. Without search engine marketing, without being found by your audience, that's a problem. And you're in the information stage. For hotels, guests will be forced to go to the online travel agencies, we call them OTAs, if they can't find a direct link to your website and they can't book with you directly. That's a problem because that's going to cost the hotel a lot of revenue. And it could cost as much as 20-25% of the price of the hotel night. Now, that's not a bad thing for the hotel if if the hotel is not crowded and it's an off night or off weekend or off season, then if you're filling rooms from the OTA or online travel agencies such as Booking.com or Expedia or someone like that, hotels.com, then it makes sense for the hotel. They're getting revenue that they wouldn't have gotten. Where hotels get into trouble, though, is when they have a sold out situation or two or three rooms left for a busy weekend, and they could easily sell them directly, but instead they're filled through the online travel agencies, and they're going to take their 25% cut or 20%, and then that's taking money right away from the hotel. And those are rooms that the hotel would have sold anyway. That's the problem with OTAs, and that's why that the hotel's direct website needs to be optimized from a search engine standpoint. And you've seen this before, but I put the Hotel Del Coronado in here. We've got the search engine marketing on top here. And this is, and under search engine marketing is search engine optimization and pay-per-click. And if you notice these two pages on the first page of a Google search for the keyword brand Hotel Del Coronado, you notice on the left there's no ad insignia, and on the right there is an ad insignia. That shows that this is a pay-per-click placement from hotels.com. This would be actually, I'm wrong. Take it back. This is the Hotel Del's ad. I was thinking this was hotel.com. It's not. This was their actual ad. This is their organic placement. You notice it's the same address, but in this case, it's an ad. They're paying to be number one on the page. So they're paying for this. Every time you click on the page, you're going to go, it's going to cost them money, and it's going to cost them through Google Ads every time you click on it if you're signed up for pay-per-click. And so that's where they're using at the same time on the same search, they have an ad. It's actually a pay-per-click placement. And on the same page, they have their organic placement. Why are they doing that? They're doing this to fight against, as much as they can, the OTAs, the online travel agencies, Expedia and hotels.com and booking.com, because again, they're taking on a head-to-head purchase, they're taking 20 to 25% away. And that's what the hotel isn't getting. But if they put their own ad up, if they put their own, when I say ad, if they put their own pay-per-click placement up there, when a consumer clicks or a guest clicks on that, they're going right to the hotel's website and they're booking directly. That way they're getting around the OTAs. And so they're making an extra 20, 25%. That theoretically pays for the pay-per-click that they clicked into the hotel. So I want to make a point that on the same page, you're going to see an organic placement SEO used in an ad. What's the difference between pay-per-click and SEO? With search engine optimization SEO, it is organic, and you're there because you've done all the right things from search engine optimization standpoint. And then but it takes time to develop, and it's a gradual process to improve your ranking. It doesn't happen overnight. You can do all the right things, but it doesn't necessarily transfer into higher SEO. It takes time for the Google bots to recognize it and rank you differently. But if you do a really good job with this and you have high organic ranking, there's a lot of really good reasons why that's a good idea. and I'll go over those. The pay-per-click is you set up a budget with a credit card with Google Ads. You set, let's say, round it off to $1,000 a month. Every time someone clicks on the page on that particular ranking, which is probably the top of the page, you what's going to happen is it's going to cost, let's say, $1. And then every time they click the about page, it's another $1. Then when they're looking at the restaurants, that's another $1. When they place their order or when they go to book now, that's another $1. So, it can cost $5 to $10 every time somebody comes to the site. And so, that your budget of $1,000 can go pretty quickly if a lot of people are doing that. So that's why we recommend, really put resources into search engine optimization. And again, this is what you just saw. I just showed you. You've got this is their organic. This is their pay-per-click ranking and their organic ranking, both on the same page. So they are locking out an online travel agency by doing that. They're getting the revenue without paying a commission, although they're paying to be there. So this is a really good example of using PPC, pay-per-click, and SEO at the same time, and for strategic reasons. Now, I think the thing to really look at here is this bottom. We know these things on top, okay? 93% of users start with, Google searches. Everything starts with a search. You got to be ranked organically, we're saying here, because 75% of users will never scroll past the first page, which is kind of alarming for some marketers because, they can't quite get to the front page and they're really getting locked out of potential sales. But I think a real key is the third element down here, that users ignore the paid ads. More and more do. 70 to 80% do. Why? Because if I go back a page, this is ad, and a lot of consumers are getting savvy to this, and they're seeing this as the ad as I'm going to get trapped. I'm going to have to get on an email list. They're going to capture my cookies, and they're going to be remarketing to me or retargeting me. It doesn't really happen, but that's what consumers think. And so on a casual search, let's say we typed in the organic or the branded keyword Hotel del Coronado. All right. This comes up first. This comes up second, but only 20% of audiences will go here. Most of the rest will go here to the organic placement because they don't see the ad. Consumers are starting to get leery of ads. So of that insignia, the ad, they're getting leery of that. So how do we control SEO, and how do we because we have established, I think, that you must have organic search engine optimization. You must be ranked and not paying for it. It's a critical for every business. So how do you do that? Well, it's on page and off page SEO. So on page is everything that happens on your website. Content marketing, the content needs to be good. Your content needs to be well written. Google bots, or some people call them spiders, are looking at this. And they're looking at well-written, they can actually recognize well-written content. They do have artificial intelligence. And they also look for keyword usage, but not overuse of keywords. They're looking for a natural use of keywords in regular conversation on the text on your website. They also look for images that load quickly and are clear and concise. The Google bots cannot see the image, and they can't really tell, oh, that's a beautiful sunset. They don't see that, but they see the statistics. They see the data and statistics within the image, and they can grade it that way. And all that leads to a better page speed. You can't be bogged down with high-speed internet everywhere pretty much. That's not as much an issue as it used to be, but you still need to focus on high speed, on images that are clear, concise, but load well. So now what kind of gets ignored by a lot of businesses is link build, is off-page SEO. Everything that happens off the page. That includes link building, like how many links, how many other websites link to your website? How many do? Well, that's a good question. I mean, you need websites linking to your website. If you do, that tells Google there's authority there. You are an authority website, and they really do reward that. So some businesses have been known to fake links. They have a bunch of their own websites and they link things to the target website to create links that don't mean anything. But Google is gotten really smart, and they're starting to recognize, they can recognize quality linking now. Sometimes as a business, you have to go to your vendors and go to your partners and ask them to link to you, and then you link to them. You have to work it. Last thing is social media. Google picks that up as quality social media. How often you post, your engagements, how well you're engaged. It can actually rate your social media. It all ties back to your website and where it originates, and that's off-page SEO. So you need both. I'm going to skip ahead to something here. I want to look at the search engine optimization, and you may have seen this one. This is for the Lafayette Hotel. They get a B- grade overall. They have no links at all, which is really a shame because they have opportunities. They have other vendors. They have opportunities for links. That would give them at least a B if they would focus on links. B- means, they're not, their website is not optimized that well as far as organic SEO. So it's just above average. So that's going to mean, what that means to them is real money. At the end of the year, if you're going to be found much faster than a B-, if you're a B+, that's going to help you. They do okay in the other areas here, but links is a off-page SEO, and so is social media. They do okay here, not so good here. It is affecting their score. So let's look at, and here's the website when you want to use this later, the SEOP timer. You can look at, other hotels and evaluate them. Actually, I didn't want to go there. Hold on. And now we look at a better SEO. This is the Hotel del Coronado. I just put their website, their actual web address, their real web address, not a OTA web address, but their web address. I put it in. Here's what it shows, what their site looks like, and they do great job with on-page SEO. Great job. They do a great job with links. That's amazing. They do a fantastic job. So they're focused on that. And usability is not good. We're going to look at that. And excellent job on social media, and performance is just okay. And it might be because they have they're so dense and heavy with video. Takes up a lot of space. What's with the usability? And I just sort of went in and looked at this. They get an F. And I think what they're saying here is that they don't have a consistent theme across their different platforms. Here you have this, this is not, it's showing the cookie thing first, which is really annoying. And then you're looking at this on a tablet, and then the website shows something totally different. And so, it's up to a business, it's up to them to address this. And they definitely can. So I'm going to go back to what I skipped here real quick. As far as keywords are concerned. When we look at keywords, you know, what are the most obvious keywords that a prospect would or a target audience member would type in to find you that are not branded keywords? Branded keywords means that your brand is in the keyword, like Lafayette Hotel San Diego or the Hotel Del Coronado. Those are branded keywords. But what about just head keywords that are not branded to you but are important in the search function? Hotel San Diego is one of those. That would be one, and I'm going to show you that in a few minutes in an exercise. So you need head keywords. You need short keywords. Hotel is almost too unspecific. But Hotel San Diego is a great keyword, but it's also going to have very high competition. So there's going to be a lot of search volume for hotels in San Diego. And with all that search volume in this red line comes very low conversion because there's so much competition for Hotel San Diego. If you were to type in Hotel San Diego in a keyword search, you would find all the OTAs show up. They're all there because they're all purchasing that. They know it's important. But what we usually say is try to come up with keywords that are less specific, because if you can do that, we call those long-tailed keywords. If you can do that, you you reduce the search volume, so not everybody is optimized for that, but you actually improve the conversion rate. That's what this is showing here. So an example of a long-tail keyword would be beach hotels in San Diego. That would be a long-tailed keyword. There's going to be less competition for it, but it is something that a consumer would absolutely search for. Absolutely. So, you know, that's something to keep in mind. I'm going to ask you and the team work this week to come up with some short-tailed or head keywords and some long-tailed keywords that make sense for the Lafayette Hotel. Now, when we go to Google Trends, I want to show you what hotels in San Diego, what it does. If we go, I'm going to go to like a 5-year space because it kind of shows the trend. It'll show a trend now. Interesting trend here. You know, you had the low point was during the pandemic. Notice it's the lowest on the chart. It's been pretty consistent though. I'm sure you can guess that this is in the United States, but you know, you can also choose, you couldn't choose any country probably. It's going to say the same thing. San Diego is a tourist area. So you have high points is going to be summer, July, August. This was all jacked up because of the pandemic. It hit its lowest low and it hit its lowest high here too as well. And then you have summer again. You have summer again, and then it's going to go and it's going to be next summer. It'll probably be up here. So sometimes you can make some judgments from this. And if we just put hotels, let's put beach hotels. Beach hotels overall. Okay, it's not a fair comparison because it's not specific enough. But what I want to do, I'm going to change it to beach hotels in San Diego. It's it's much more confined now, but you can see this is a long-tailed keyword. You notice there's less searching for it, but it kind of operates on the same level as as the hotels in San Diego. So something to keep in mind. I'm going to ask you to use this tool as it relates to, the Lafayette Hotel. And I'm going to need each person on the team you guys to collaborate and decide on what you're going to be searching for, because that's the homework this week. And I'd like you to just use the tool. And we did these, we did this, now we're at this page. Here, this week, I'd like you to identify the points of differentiation from the Lafayette Hotel. Also, the points of parity. They're like everybody else, and customers still want